Hello, everyone. I pray everyone is having a great week and welcome to Mindful Wanderer Journeys Within. I can't believe this is my fourth show already since starting this podcast, and I am just so excited for everybody that is here. I am grateful for those of you who have been following, and a special welcome to those who may be joining me for the first time. Thank you so much for being here. I just love your support and being able to inspire through this platform. So, tonight is going to be about, with Thanksgiving coming up, talking about traditions, fun times. I have a special event that I want to share that I was part of in 2019. And I'd love to hear in the comments as we go through about what are some fun traditions for Thanksgiving that you do. And it could be anything from watching football together, what you have for meals, any special activities you do. Does anybody start decorating for Christmas right away? Or if you're like me, I usually start ahead of time, but that's just me. So, what I want to share about is, I want to give some background. And I'm sharing this because Thanksgiving is also a time about gratitude and blessings. And my last show, I talked about gratitude a lot and leading to abundance in our lives. And, gratitude, when we don't always realize that showing gratitude for those times in our lives that were really tough, which is extremely challenging. And we're not always going to know why something went the way it did until maybe much later. And that's what happened to me. So, to give background, when I was in elementary school, I played the clarinet. I was in the school orchestra for fifth and sixth grade. And when I got to my intermediate school years, which for me was seventh and eighth grade, I wanted so much to be in the performing arts band. So of course I signed up for band lessons and everything, and I had played my clarinet still, and I wanted to be in the performing arts band. I had expressed my interest to my teacher at that time, and he gave me a note. It was in a sealed envelope to give to my parents. And I had no idea what it was about. I'm like, oh my God, did I do something wrong? And he wouldn't tell me what it was about. So I went home and I gave this letter to my parents, this envelope. I said, I had no idea what it was about. He just said to give it to you. So my parents had read the letter, and I could just tell on their faces that it wasn't good news. And I'm like, what? So there was no really easy way to break this news, and they showed it to me. Bottom line is, the band teacher had written to my parents that I could still continue to take lessons with the clarinet, but I was not good enough for the performing arts band. And that's exactly how he wrote it. I was not good enough. And it just devastated me so much that I managed to make it through the rest of the year because I had signed up for that class, but I never picked up the clarinet again after that year. And well, actually, I did pick it up a few years ago and just kind of played a little bit, but I mean, after seventh grade, I never played it in school again or even in college or anywhere. It took into my late 40s that I had the courage to actually try it again. But the big story is, I had always thought about how I got denied that opportunity to do something that was really big in my heart. So I follow two parades at Thanksgiving. Usually we follow the New York Macy's Day Parade, but also because my grandmother was from Philadelphia, we also watched part of the Philadelphia Thanksgiving Day Parade. So getting to 2019, I just happened to go on social media one day, and there was a an advertisement, and it was looking for volunteers to be in the Thanksgiving Day Parade. It was the 100th anniversary of it, and they were looking for people to be balloon handlers, to be on floats, to carry banners. And I talked to my mom about it because my dad had passed away in 2006, and I talked to my mom about it. I said, "Mom, do you think I should even try to go for this?" And she said, "Why not? You always wanted to be in a big parade and be able to march, and you were denied that when you were a kid, so yes, go for it." So I put in an application, and they said we wouldn't hear anything until maybe about the summer. This was around March when I initially put the application in. So I had to wait months and months to find out whether I was selected. Well, when I saw the email that said the volunteers for the parade, I was really, really scared to open up this email because immediately I was expecting a rejection. So I got the courage to open it up, and it said, "Congratulations, you have been accepted to be a banner handler in the parade," which means I would get to march in the parade. I didn't care that I wasn't playing an instrument. I just wanted to be in a parade. But here I was selected to walk in one of the biggest parades. I was going to be on TV. And also, it was the 100th anniversary of this parade. I couldn't believe it. And my mom was able to go with me. We stayed in Philadelphia the night before, and it was the most exciting, one of the most exciting moments in my life, to be around all of these groups of people, all of these bands. I met the most wonderful volunteers. They gave us a breakfast in the morning. They gave us food afterwards. When we were marching in the parade, the Dunkin' Donuts, if you're familiar with them, they had the characters dressed up, and they were giving us coffee, and they were when we had down times during the parade, when they were doing the commercials, and they would give us munchkins, and it was just so much fun. And also, for being a participant in the parade, they gave us, and I'll bring these up. So, and we got to wear them. They gave us this really cute hat, and if you can see, it says the 100th anniversary symbol right here. So we got to wear that, and these are the Dunkin' Donuts colors. And then we also had to wear these sweatshirts. And again, it had the 100th anniversary symbol on it. So it was just, it was a prayer answered for me. It was gratitude for the fact that God remembered me, that I was denied that opportunity to be in the parade. Or to be in the marching band when I was in 7th and 8th grade. And here I am, it was 2019, 5 years ago. I was, I'm 53 now. So anyway, I mean, here I was, at the end of my 40s, going into my 50s, and I was able to be in this parade. And it was, I can't even describe what it was like to be marching. And when we were marching up to the art museum, which is where they were televising a lot of the acts, when I knew that we were walking there, I can't even tell you what it felt like. And I knew that I was meant to be there. And it was just one of the most exciting moments of my life. And it's a Thanksgiving that I'll never forget. Now, we could have stayed at the hotel that night for a Thanksgiving buffet, but we drove back home, and we were able to have Thanksgiving with wonderful friends. And I'll tell you, it was a Thanksgiving to remember. And I had planned to march again, but unfortunately the pandemic hit. And then I had been struggling with an autoimmune, but it's getting better. And I am determined again to march in that parade again, because I met volunteers who have been volunteering in that parade for years, and I want to do it again. It was just the most incredible thing. And I am just so grateful for that experience. And I'm sure that there are a lot of you who are listening to this that are thinking about those times where somebody might have crushed a dream for you. And I want to tell you, you know, don't give up. And in a way, I'm grateful in a way that I experienced what I did when I was a kid with that, because it just made me appreciate what was in front of me at that time, marching in that parade. It just meant so much more for me because I had been denied that opportunity when I was a kid. But here I was again, you know, midlife, walking in this parade at the 100th anniversary of this parade. And I'll just never forget it. It was just an incredible, incredible experience. And I just want to have everybody reflect on, those are the moments in our lives that when we're going through a challenging situation, whether it be an illness or a job change or a job loss or a move or whatever it is, we really need to hang on to those moments, those memories of special times in our lives. And when we're thinking about Thanksgiving and the upcoming holidays, think about what are some special traditions and special memories that you have. I would really love to hear them and read them in the comments, because traditions, and you don't have to always necessarily have the same tradition. A tradition could be something new. It could be something as times change to do something new, or even tweak a tradition. For example, I mean, I know I'm talking about Thanksgiving, but at Christmas time, my family and I always looked at Christmas lights. And we'd go around to different neighborhoods, and we always knew about particular ones that always had a great display. But then we tweaked it where we would go to a different neighborhood or a different town or something. We were still doing the same tradition, but we were just anteing it up a bit. And we just discovered even better displays, or not better necessarily, but bigger displays. And I mean, they were just incredible. Now, for Thanksgiving, one of my greatest memories is my grandmother, who I mentioned lived in Philadelphia growing up. She had what they called a row home. And it was a very, very small place. But I'll tell you, we could party in that place like no other. I mean, we would have amazing get-togethers. I mean, you would be amazed at how many people would fit into this row home. I mean, you would walk in and you walk right into her living room, and you had people that were on the chairs, on the couch. You had people in the kitchen. You had people in the bedrooms. You had people downstairs in the basement. I'm surprised we didn't have people in the closet or the bathroom. I mean, it was, and then people would be playing outside and in the backyard or in the front yard. And I mean, it was amazing. It didn't matter that the place was small, because the love was so big. The gratitude was so big. And I mean, people just, we would have a buffet system set up in the kitchen, and people would go and help themselves. And some people would be watching TV. Again, some people would be in another room, playing a game, or, I mean, it was just wonderful. And then at my house, we also did some entertaining there. And I mean, we kind of, had different places that we would celebrate. But one of my greatest memories, though, is in my grandmother's row home. And when she sold that home and moved in with me and my mom in 2007, I mean, it was hard. It was hard to let go of that row home. It really was, because it was just so full of memories and everything. So they were just special times. And my grandmother, she is the one who taught me how to cook a turkey. And, even like when it was the three of us living together, my grandmother, my mother, and me, my grandmother taught me how to cook a turkey, because my dad always cooked it when he was around. And I'll tell you, I can cook a very mean turkey because of her. And she used to joke and say, this old bird is going to show you how to cook this old bird. So, I miss her. I miss a lot of these traditions and special times, but we've created new traditions. And I mean, this Thanksgiving is going to be it's going to be a lot different this year because my mom has been dealing with a lot of health challenges, and I'm going to be spending it with friends this year. But I have faith that by next year, we're going to be able to celebrate together in the way at home again, or maybe we'll go somewhere. But again, it's being flexible. It's being open to new. And I had done a little video on my TikTok this morning about a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. And I was doing it mainly about business, but even in your personal lives, I mean, if you have a fixed mindset, you're only open to one particular outcome. But if you have a growth mindset, you never know. You never know what's around the corner. And yesterday, I I just had the greatest thing happen for me. I was offered a position to be the marketing director for an incredible studio that's going to be a combination of art and vintage clothing and vintage masks and just all kinds of wonderful items, and also massage therapy, Reiki, I mean, you name it. And for those of you who are in New Jersey, it's in a town called Point Pleasant, New Jersey. It's called Awakenings. And her grand opening is going to be December 6th through the 8th. But it's because I was open. I was searching for different things. And instead of having a fixed mindset that I had to have my life go a certain way, I opened myself up to God and the universe. And this is what was presented to me because I've been learning so much about digital marketing. I'm a promoter by nature, and she just loved what I was doing, and it just aligned with her vision and my vision, and now I've got this incredible opportunity that I'm doing. So as you're thinking about Thanksgiving, I just want you again to think about, what are you grateful for today? What are you grateful for? And again, the bigger our gratitude, the bigger that we're going to have things to continue to be grateful for. I have been seeing that in my life. I really have. I mean, and this hat just reminds me of, how big God in the universe can provide in our lives. And just thinking about with Thanksgiving coming up, and already, like, I'm thinking about, we have sparkling cider as a tradition. We have different pies as a tradition. And I mean, it's like anything can become a tradition as long as it becomes a special memory and something you can hold on to. So I just want to tell everybody here, have a wonderful, wonderful, happy and blessed Thanksgiving. You all are so special to me. You're all special in your own way. And as I've always said about being inner tour guide, we all have our own paths, and we're just all meant to impact this world in our own special way. So enjoy the memories, making memories, enjoy the traditions and tweaking new traditions, and be open to what God wants to do in your life. All right, my friends, have a wonderful day and a wonderful holiday, and I will see you in December.